the Moonchin King. You are very creepy to me. And welcome to another fan art discovery. This episode is very monumental to you because it is the first time somebody other than my golden Moonchin, Matilda Gothica, the first time someone other has brought to my attention art inspired by yours truly. And in fact, this is extraordinary to me because we have not just one person's work today, but two new contributors to the Moonchin Art Gallery. How time flies for you! And here's the reveal. Wouldn't you? The first was from 3 days ago. I was mentioned on Instagram by one of my followers, Supreme Lord Nox. That is his Instagram username. He is also my subscriber on YouTube, known as Artsy Plays, Vlogs and more. He is very loyal to you. He is very active to you. I would say he is my top subscriber at the moment. Unofficially, of course. At least until my next top subscriber is revealed. I think I will make another scream out video for my top Moonchins at the end of this year for 2017 and 2018 combined. That could be an extraordinary event to you. Anyway, the caption of the photo is this what lies beneath the Moonchin King mask? Do we even want to know what is under there? And there is a very reflective looking emoji, hashtag fanart, hashtag Moonchin King. And as you can see under the hashtag Moonchin King, this is the only post so far. Apparently I don't even use it. How changes fly above you. Did you draw this, Artsy? I said, with my own very thought-provoking emoji snapped to you. This is a rather extraordinary surprise for sure, and a shocked, stitched eyes, open-mouthed dead emoji, and I believe this emoji is the high five emoji, but I always see it as a praying emoji, or raising the hands up and thanks sort of gesture. I think that is the most common use, but I guess it could suppose be a high five. It works in either context. Wouldn't you say? Yes, I did. I'm a pen sketcher, he said to me. This is a very flattering image of me. Happy emoji with acid coming from the eyes. Thank you to you, Donut, in case he was hungry and wanted a treat for his crimes. I will make a video analyzing these crucial questions, exclamation mark for emphasis, and the genie for the mystery. And here's the reveal. Here I am. And what answers do I have for you? Well, let us first examine Supreme Lord Nox's interpretation of my crimes. Now, first of all, this looks like it is in pencil. I wonder if it's a pencil or pen, or if it's just pen. A pencil pen, perhaps. He did say he was a pen sketcher. You could tell you after all. The first thing to notice is that he seems to have followed in the footsteps of Matilda's recent art, which I also made a video on, of course. Go on an adventure if you haven't seen it yet. That was the last fan art I received before this. It was Halloween themed, and there was a part face reveal. Only in part. And it seems that I can use this opportunity for another face reveal based clickbait title once again. But Matilda's, I think, was zombie themed and showed a very evil mouth and teeth with blood. Here we have even more of what's under the mask, but only half the mouth, and it's a closed mouth. However, an entire half of the face is shown, which was not portrayed in Matilda's. I was a little bit confused before, but now I realize that these check marks on the face are not just the cool design of this helmet, but I think must be portraying my scarf, my checkered pink and black scarf, or pink and red, however your eyes are tuned to the world and the universe. And if that isn't a cool metal mask as I thought it was, I believe that must be that my fabric mask that I usually wear. And if that's the case, then that isn't some cool X-Men Cyclops robot glasses that emit rays and lasers and all sorts of awesome monstrosities, but it must be in fact indicative of my recent glasses upgrade, my white glasses with the black bars across, which Artsy calls my cardboard, immortal tapestry of kings and electors and their letters glasses. It is curious, because at first, and for a long time after until just now, I thought my first impression was that it reminded me of Deathstroke. Deathstroke, like I had some kind of metal helmet on. That would actually be superb behavior for you. It makes me look bad off, as they say in Jupiter. It makes me look like some sort of assassin, perhaps half machine, half man. Of course, I am neither in reality, but it is a nice dream to have. This is you. You can see some stitching on my left cheek, or scar, a battered wound, perhaps. And these crosses sticking out of the shoulders look like they might be some weapons of some kind, although they do resemble the crosses of Christ quite significantly. That is very sacrificial to me. It is quite interesting to see how Artsy imagines my crimes under the mask. It looks like he has chosen to go for an Asian look. The eyes look very slanted to a formidable degree, in fact, quite indicative of somebody from East Asia. I find this very fitting to see. The nose looks quite flat and square, I think, which also fits well. I think this dark hair also matches an Asian style, and a very straight style of it. You see Moonchin King written down on my collarbones, and I think that might be on a necklace of some kind, unless it's just where the top meets the neck, possibly. Also, I have just realized that's possibly a neck reveal, but I'm not sure because it doesn't have the checkered pattern that the scarf has, but at the same time, it also has MK, my initials, written on it. So either I have a tattoo, or it's on some other material which is covering my neck. The other reason it looks like I'm wearing a helmet is because of this zigzag shape, which makes it look like the other half was broken off in some epic confrontation. I don't think the fabric piece would break off in that way, for instance, unless it was cut that way. My ears are also very interesting They look like they belong to a panda, a baby panda, which is also from Asia, conveniently to you. And of course, literally topping it off is my legendary hat, a fedora, it is called for you, very iconic to me. All of my fan art so far, although they all have quite strikingly different interpretations, they all have relatively the same iconic hat on the top. It would take a rather daring Moonchin to attempt a portrayal, a portrait, an art, an immaculate portrayal of me where I'm not wearing the fedora. Maybe that could be a challenge for you. How will you interpret it? However, the idea is not actually so foreign. If you watch the channel regularly, or especially if you follow my Instagram or come to my live streams, it is very likely you would have seen me at times without the hat, when I have merely my scarf covering my bald head to me. Otzi, the person who drew this art, calls it the volcano look. I think he has taken a liking to that image. Very fond for you. Soya Comics on my Instagram commented that I was looking like old school Baron Zemo. And after searching him up, I think I would agree to you. My Marvel alter ego. Or is it really me for real? Who could tell you? Wouldn't you? Strange how this guy is supposed to be a major adversary of Captain America, yet I had not heard of him before. Maybe he will be in an upcoming Marvel movie. I think I will fit the part very nicely. I should go audition. One look at me and I am guaranteed surely to win the part, just as long as they're not looking for a completely blended reinterpretation of the character, like his son was subjected to in Captain America Civil War. I mean, whose idea was that? Look how plain this guy looks. Marvel has received criticism for boring villains, and what they decide to do, take this awesome looking guy and turn him into the most boring guy ever. However, it is interesting to see that concept art was actually created with that classic look in mind. Andy Park, whoever is this guy, said he painted this Baron Zemo for Captain America Civil War. At the end of the day, his traditional comic book look didn't make sense for the story. Then how about not putting him in the story then? Common sense to you. Do people not realize that these characters' costumes are their identity? Imagine Batman without his batsuit on. Or Iron Man without his Iron Man. Thor without his hammer. The Joker without his grin. The Penguin without his umbrella. You can't really get away with it for very long, wouldn't you? And besides, the character they showed in the movie was apparently so different from the comic book version. There was no reason to even give him the same name. Oh, except to just get fans desperately excited, just to disappoint them, of course. One last thing about that. He calls him Baron Zemo here, but the MCU wiki page calls him Helmet Zemo, which is Baron Zemo's son. So they're not supposed to be the same character. Yet on the preview for Baron Zemo, on the wiki page, it says it was played by Daniel Brühl, who was the actor from the movie. On IMDb, they call him just Zemo, nothing else. Well, either way, it makes no sense to just waste a character like this. I would make a better Zemo villain for sure. Anyway, we have been sidetracked from the prophecy, the great, spectacular prophecy of the Moonchin. Is this what lies beneath the Moonchin mask? Well, I have to say, you have been extremely generous. My skin looks very fair and smooth and young, perhaps a homage to my former days of glory. Very nostalgic to me. The eyes are arguably not too far off either. Back when I had eyes, of course. And the hair. Oh, to be hairy again. How time flies to you. Do you even want to know what is under there? I am afraid that you will not be prepared to witness what the reveal. It could be extremely terrible to you. One might not be able to bear burden the unquestionable truth of the Tata source. It will be powerful. It will be destructive. It will be a potentially catastrophic, cataclysmic concoction of dazzling absurdity, and very creepy to you. However, I know that your quest will not be abandoned. You will sweat profusely until your dream is fulfilled. And when the time should come, I will reluctantly unveil the bitterly sick Renaissance. But I fear your hunger may not ever be quenched. If this channel grows to a substantial amount, we will see the destruction of my crimes. But in the meantime, we will all have to make believe with the imaginations of the Moonchins materialized into pieces such as this one right here. Thank you, Otzi, Supreme Lord Nox, for your crimes. You are very funky to me. Scream out to you!
That is not all for your crimes. I was mentioned again by Supreme Lord Nox, and this was the start of an extraordinary tale to you, for the dark side conceals all. This wasn't the same day, it was the day after, and here we have another funky piece of fan art to me. Fan art for the Moonchin King. Very smiley face for you. I spent a bit of trying to fix the sword, but I'm not the best. I hope you like it and hope you see it. Very sweet to you. I replied to Otzi's Moonchin. I like your style, Otzi. This is very honorable to me. I am a fan indeed. And then came the great twist of the tale, the turning point in the crimes. Otzi replied with, "This is my sister's art, not mine," with water coming out of the emoji's face. And this twist was very hilarious for me. I scrolled up and I realized that it wasn't Supreme Lord who was the criminal. It was another person entirely. Dynamic Doggo Love. And I tell you, I must have erupted with the chuckles. I took down an entire flat above me, and I made them pay for the damage. It was an amazing spectacle, a circus show, an ultimate mocking delight. The suspense, the tension, and the payoff were all so perfectly entwined, infused to create the urban coffee, and this, in that moment, was the meaning of real estate to you. I replied with 3 whole emojis with the raindrops coming out the ears. How time flies for me! And a retarded emoji. That is clinical language to me. I am extremely chuckling to you. with fingers shaped to indicate pure bliss and an unforgettable experience. When she followed me, I actually thought I recognized her in your live stream and assumed she might be your sister, but somehow I completely missed the name here and a brown granddaddy. And then I address this unexpected Moonchin. Very sorry to you, with eyes that are anxiously peering out into the abyss, and 2 rounds of appreciative applause to you. This was the meaning of life to she. And I use the she pronoun quite liberally, I must say. Very rude of me. However, I was replying to the princess. Oh, the Supreme Lord, I mean. He used to be a prince. That is the reasoning that I didn't even know her name at that point. The username is quite a mouthful to be repeating after all. It was true, though, that the thought did cross my mind that she, and I won't use her name, still, because I'm not certain if she is comfortable with your crimes. Well, that she was artsy because artsy sister. Because Instagram showed that she was actually followed by him, so that made me think even more. And I did think I recognized her from his video. Potentially. I saw her very briefly on the camera. I would have known for sure if I had looked at her photos, because they do look quite familiar actually. But what is interesting is that I never received a notice of her mention in the caption. I never received that for some reason, even now. Very extraordinary to me. Maybe it's better to tag me in the pictures in future. I only became aware of the art due to Supreme Lord mentioning me. Anyway, I realize after that dynamic doggo, Supreme Lord's sister actually DM'd me earlier. Now I remember getting that notification. I just forgot about it, and I must have been doing something at the time. And when I was done, I clearly still forgot to check what it was all about. But she said, "Hey, I'm a big fan. Ever since my brother told me about you, and I made some fun art. I hope you like it." She said this before the post that I was mentioned in, so very tricky of me. I wasn't ignoring you, honestly. I just didn't see it until afterwards. She had also sent me a photo here. I think an early version of it, perhaps. I think it did look different somehow. The camera was certainly pulled out, and I remember various other doodles around. I don't recall how much the actual Moonchin King was altered. Rather sad for me, because it wouldn't let me replay in the DMs the picture, and I didn't screenshot it, so I couldn't see back again the differences. I would have liked to see it again on the replay. Anyway, I thanked for the art and apologized for my criminals. You are very funky to me. I don't get that many, so I do appreciate it indeed. This is very true for me. Although things have picked up suddenly, as you can witness not long ago, the only contributor to the Moonchin Art Gallery was Matilda Gothica. And now we have Supreme Lord Nox and Dynamic Doggo. On YouTube, Supreme Lord Nox is known as Artsy Plays, Vlogs and more, and Dynamic Dog is called Dynamic Plays, so do subscribe to their crimes, wouldn't you? In Doggo's art, I do look very mysterious like an assassin. That scarf is very tight around my mouth, No room for grieving, no room for breathing, no room for pain. There is no suffering, there is only rain. I think they do look a bit more like swords in this instance, and less like crosses to kill Jesus. To kill Jesus, or to kill a vampire, your choice to you. A nice plain top to me. Not very armored, but I don't need it, of course. Being very immortal to me. For some reason, I really like the color at the bottom of the neck. And the glasses look very cool. Looks like her own spin on them. 2 white stripes. There's something satisfying about the cross-hatched pattern also. I can imagine this character being in something like Hellboy or League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Reminds me of the Invisible Man, actually. You take off the mask, and there is simply nothing. And here's the reveal. Nothing. That could be very extraordinary to you. Trickery, you would say. Deception to me. However, what is this in the corner? A cheesy moon. Or a cheesy gold ball indeed. Who could tell you? And there are my initials in the corner. MK for the Moonchin King. This is known as forgery, I tell you. You are selling fakes on the white market for extraordinary prices. Very tricky to me. However, this is praiseworthy business indeed. Thank you, Dynamic Doggo. Scream out to you! While that brings us at last to the end of this episode of Fun Heart. I hope there are many more to come. If you have the urge to try and either replicate or reimagine my grandeur, my imperialism, then do so with my kitty kissy blessing to you. Go. Draw to your crime's intent. Take a picture and either send it to me on my Instagram, username the Moonchin King, or tweet me at the Moonchin King. Follow me, and of course, follow your thoughts. Show me your crimes, and remember, jump on that subscribe button if you would like to eat the cheese. There are lime engines. Take care, my Moonchins. Ah!
Thank you.